Julian Beaumer, is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Beaumer.
Versus
Deegan.
Hayden Deegan. Jackson, somebody, was it you that brought up that topic?
Jackson brought it up.
Great topic.
Yeah.
Because that is a conversation I'm interested in, but for maybe a reason people wouldn't expect. Who's better, who could be on a better trajectory if you were putting them head to head right now, or based on his now, we're only one race in, but Beaumer's rookie season versus Deegan. What did Beaumer get in the first race? Fourth. What did Deegan get in his first one? Fourth? No, couldn't have been that good. It
was pretty high.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. People got upset with Deegan because his futures races
were bad.
Yeah, they weren't good.
And Beaumer's were very good.
Yeah,
I think.
But so were Bennick's too.
But is Beaumer older? I should have more info here. Guess what, guys? If you listen to the Moto Academy podcast, you know that I don't know anything. I don't have time to watch it half the time, so I barely know what's going on.
But on the flip side, guys, I am a historian of motocross.
Yes.
So
unlike cameraman Cam,
who knows nothing. Nothing.
If you have a historical motocross, MXGP, MotoGP, Formula One, GNCC, Dakar Rally, Isle-of-Man TT, I could go on and on and on. Jamie will know all of it, which is helpful.
Well, I just love
motorcycles. Which is helpful because we need to have that moto culture.
Can I say, driving sometimes when you and Cam would do these, I almost wanted to crash the van.
I know.
I was so upset when he didn't even know who McGrath was.
No, at least I know a good amount of the names and the people and the references.
Yeah.
Cam, well, he's young. He was born in like 2000.
Again, listen, I mean, come on. Everybody has favorite sports. Even if it's not motocross, let's pick any other sport. Pick football. Football season, Super Bowl's coming. Everybody who watches football right now has heard of Dan Marino or Joe Namath. Like there's history of the sport.
Maybe not somebody born in 2000. You think they should, because I do, and I don't watch football. But then again, I only know Dan Marino because Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and I know Joe Namath. I don't know how. I guess from football.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Beaumer versus Deegan. This was instantly where my head went, and this is why I just brought it up, following what we just talked about. I said out loud, I'm like, I don't think I can give an opinion until I meet the dad of Beaumer.
Exactly.
I have met Brian, so I know old man Deegan, and I know what they're about, sort of. I don't know them super, super well, but I've talked to him on the phone a bunch of times. We text. I've met him a handful of times, and they're high level.
Well, you can tell they're family oriented. I mean, everything they do. I mean, like even last year at MetLife, when it was raining and the pause, we were all up there. The whole family,
they were all together.
They were sitting together. I mean, that's I'm a big, me, I'm a big, strong believer in a family unit. It's got to be tight. Even our little team.
Yeah, it's the most important thing.
Yeah, it's a tight family.
Yeah, I dancing all over topics here, sort of. I like the concept. There's a lot of countries in Europe or people in Europe that the family will like stick together for generations and essentially almost like sometimes live in like, a compound to where they're all kind of together. I like that concept.
I just today on the discussion tab, I was going through some things, and I saw somebody posted something about Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah,
and I said,
I
man,
listened to that. I watched that.
You want to talk about a family like that? That's like they live and die together.
So I think you can't beat a kid that has that.
I agree.
You can't beat a Lawrence and a Lawrence family situation. You can't beat, or the only way you can compete with it is like a Deegan and a Deegan family situation. There's a couple things that are different throughout. I think that, and I'm sure Brian is very smart and he's sharp, and the phone calls that he's had with me even are him trying to learn more maybe on the technique side of things, right? But I think Dazzy has more info about technique than Brian does currently, and I think he has more bike setup specific knowledge.
I was going to say, Dazzy, the weeks I spent with you at the dog pound, I'm a pretty good mechanic, fix helicopters. I have never seen a man so dialed in on a bike that like he can look at it and be like, "Okay, we're changing this, and this."
Yeah, like crazy changes that
like
I
crazy,
never even thought.
Like Showa was there and he was like, "Nah, we're doing this."
Yeah, there was like, I don't know if they were moving the cam chain around. There was like things happening. I'm like, huh? What?
I was the same way.
Just testing air filters. I mean, certain things that it's like, All right.
Okay, what's that tenth of a horsepower going to really do? But if you look, I mean, look at Jet. I mean,
but it ends up turning into like compounded knowledge when you have when you have a high level dad that can stick with you. And a lot of people would argue the opposite, right? A lot of people would say, hey, when you turn pro, parents should be out of there. And the problem is these kids are turning pro before they're 20 years old. The parent has to be heavily involved in the right way at that age. Perfect. And probably for most of your moto career, because you're not there yet. What's up, everybody? AJ from the Moto Academy here. We have just released new content inside of the Moto Academy app. If you want one-on-one training in motocross, enduro, anything two wheels, go to club.themotoacademy.com. Train online with us today.
The parent has to remember that it's their livelihood, their lives. Yes, it's a family. I get all that. But we have to remember as parents, and I was guilty of it too, I know what I want riding. You know what you want riding. You have the 250 championship plan for 5 years. Everybody knows that. But you can't take your thoughts and brain and put it in Millie. It's not going to happen. Millie's going to have that thought and want herself. My son, great racer, did a great job, but didn't want that next level. So, I mean, even though I saw talent and I wanted him to do it, I can't force him to do something he doesn't want. Just like I can't force him to not do something he wants to do. Like he's very much into hunting, and I can't say, okay, we're not going to hunt because I want you to go train. Well, because then nothing's going to get done. Yeah.
You basically, I feel like you have to have the morals and kind of the values.
Values are top.
And then you have to, the values are the top thing, and then you could just are kind of like the gutter rails.
Mm-hmm. So keep them in the middle.
If
bowling with bumpers, just keep them in the middle.
Values here, and then just bumpers on the way up, right? That's a kind of a good visual.
That's a great analogy. I mean, I like, we like talking. Children need to be guided, but they don't need to be pushed. Like, you don't need to really kick them in the butt and tell them, you need to go do this right now. Yeah, sometimes if they don't clean their room, whatever. I get that. But you love Supercross and motocross. I love it. The whole team loves it. But just because we love it doesn't mean that Millie's going to come up and say, Dad, I'm going to play guitar and I'm going to be a rock star. And it as a parent, we have to sit there and say, well, let's go get
hope that's the case, because I want her to be into music. I feel like it's one of the most like raw forms of creativity that exists.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely, definitely get her a piano at 3 years old. At least let her experience what it's like to create something of her own, like a musical song, or when you create that. I just started piano
Creativity
lessons.
Is going to be like one of the values, if you consider that a value. Creativity is like such a crazy main focus, and I would love for it to be in music of some sort.
Oh, absolutely.
But I mean, riding a dirt bike is creativity. It's an art form as well.
It's the same thing. But you have to support what they want.
Yep. So I haven't met Beaumer's dad, so therefore I can't accurately answer that question. But I would, those of you listening to this, I'm sure this is a YouTube clip. Holy cow, they're got to be pulling their hair out, because imagine the different opinions on this. The people that are just like, no, well, he's just faster. No, he's faster. It's so much deeper than that, in my opinion, and that's why you're seeing the separation. Although there's a lot of really cool high-level dads out there. Plessinger's old man.
Oh yeah.
Scott.
Eli
seems super cool. Eli, great example.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave names out, but I could keep going.
There's a million of them.
Yeah.
But if you notice, I would say 90% of the top notch have a mother and or father, a parent figure that has not let them derail. You look at like Mrs. RC, she did not let RC derail. You watch Steel Roots, McGrath talks about his father. I'm not saying you have to push them and kick them in the butt and tell them go out and do motos, but you have to not let them derail and like decide to go and join Hell's Angels. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I used to hang out in the Hell's Angels clubhouse in Connecticut when I was like 2 years old. I've got that story. I have a couple of pictures to prove
We're going to edit that one out.
So whoopsie daisy. So who you picking? Beaumer. Dad aside. If you're just looking at forget the trajectory of the career right here, rewind 1 year for Hayden. Rookie year versus rookie year.
Rookie year versus rookie year. So
what are you seeing?
So what you're seeing is the media and the social media especially has the Deegan has Danger Boy up here, not for the wrong reasons. He's just more into the social media. You know, like he did the backflip when he was like 2 years old, whatever. You know, he's crazy, great crazy, but crazy. Beaumer, we didn't know about him because he was on jet skis. You know, and
I
that's
didn't know that.
just as tough.
That's
I mean, like,
cool.
have you ever done a jet ski?
With stand-ups?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have seen it.
Okay, yeah, it's like a 3-legged mountain goat on track. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not even a motorcycle. It's just difficult.
Super physical, great training. I heard that Christophe Porcel used to train on a jet ski because he was like so messed up that he wouldn't want to do motos on the bike, so he'd get in the water. And
anybody in the app,
is that true?
Free tool. I'll donate a free tool to you if you can tell me which country he was from.
Porcel?
Don't give it away.
You know who won't know that answer?
Cameraman
Cam. Definitely won't know.
He didn't
that
even
answer.
know Jean-Michel Bale. That still kills me.
Same country.
And Michel Bale is, in my opinion, Michel Bale is the greatest racer ever lived.
I've heard so many good things about him, and I still have not seen footage of him ride.
Well, it's not just, he reminds me a lot of Ryan Sipes. He's the only one in the world that has won a professional motocross, professional supercross, and a professional MotoGP race.
MotoGP?
Yeah, you don't go from riding CRs to Honda bikes.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's the only one that's done it.
Wow, that's cool. Who are you picking, Beaumer or Deegan?
Deegan.
Okay, I'll say Beaumer.
Why?
He looked pretty technically sound for
why?
a rookie.
I mean, I have my reason why. What's your reason why?
He seems really mature in the interviews. I don't know how old he is. I just saw an interview of him.
I think he's like 19.
I just saw an interview of him at whatever the second round is that's happening as we're recording this.
San Fran.
Seems really mature and level-headed, and his technique and the way he rides is mature. And the technique looks really good. There's not a lot of the guys in the 250 class right now. I'm pretty unimpressed overall with technique. There's been only a handful that have evolved, and the young ones coming in, a lot of them aren't there yet with technique, and which is sad. They should be, but this is the Moto Academy opportunity. That's what's going to happen in the next, however many years. But Beaumer looks pretty. He
looks great.
Pretty close.
I'm going to tell you why I'm picking Deegan.
Okay.
Again, been with you with the dog pound, seen the boys train. Then I seen when everybody's packing up, and I mean like everybody that's also there, all packing up, and I see the boys still training, and the boys still training, and then we have a night at Tampa, and they're late because they're still training. That's grilled into them. They're going to train until they get it right. And everybody said, oh, Deegan had life handed to him. If you watch what he's actually went through in some of his videos, he's the last one there. Like when he was at Club MX, I think it was a Club MX he was at, he was the last one to leave the track.
I could see that, that's a value.
That's a value. That's your father or your mother teaching you that if you're going to do something, you do it 100%. Like I'm sure your mother and father are probably the same way. If you signed up for Little League Baseball and you hated it your first year, okay, you can quit, but you will finish the season. You will finish it. I'm not sure if I had that. I mean, I hated baseball. Signed up for it, played the first game, got hit with the pitch. I'm done. I quit. Nope.
What position did you play? Do you remember?
Catcher.
Catcher?
Yeah, I was bigger, so I was a catcher.
Yeah, I was center field or something boring. Something boring.
But you didn't quit?
No, I say it out there. I was on the All-Star team.
Nice.
Yeah. All-Star team, baby. Well, I forget what year that is, but shout out Portland. We had a strong team. If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, make sure you go download them on Spotify and Apple Music. If you want to watch full episodes or be a person that sends in your own video submission, go to club.themotoacademy.com and subscribe to join the Moto Academy family today.